Okay, all right. So now time for the next segment. Let's go to Crypto Showdown. So as mentioned earlier, go to menti.com, menti.com. Use the code 6957653. That's 6957653. And the Crypto Showdown. What is the best project in your opinion? Time for our crypto family to go out there and vote. So the options are Helium Network, and the other option, ZRX Project. So go on Menti, tell us what you think. Also tell us what you think down in the comments below. Bill, in terms of looking at the charts for both of these projects, tell us your take.
All right, so let's take a look here. Okay, so one of the things I noticed about ZRX is, it's interesting. There was the spike and then it went right back to sort of doing nothing. And it's been in this area for almost a year. Now, in most of the time you would say, that's pretty boring. Okay. However, I get the sense that boring might be good. So from now until the end of the year, looking at stuff that has not necessarily gone up 10x is worth it, right? And I did notice that 0x shows up in one of our value portfolios. So this isn't a fantastic looking moon chart, but there is support here. So I find ZRX intriguing. Now, Helium, okay, notice I'm switching time frames, right? Because Helium is one of these new, it's new to being a really fast moving altcoin. Okay. So if you follow the mouse, obviously there's this nice move off the bottom. It comes back. It does a 62% retracement. Okay. You can see a lot of people giving up in here. My view on Helium is it's approaching an equilibrium. Okay. I don't know that it's ever going to go back to 6, but with the way this coin works, dare I say it, but it could become almost a new stable coin or store of value, right? I know it's been incredibly volatile. So I think in terms of earning it and having it in a portfolio, it's good if you can earn it. Is it a token that's going to go to 6? I'm not sure about that. So I think it's more of a store of value.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Cobb, any comments on Helium or ZRX on your end?
Yeah, I mean, look, all I can really do is sort of comment on what I see on the chart, and I'll start with Helium. As far as a tradable chart goes, I believe it's only on it's the long only option.
Mm-hmm.
You can't short this market, which I guess it works in its favor. It doesn't look like it's got that much volume. I don't use a volume indicator, but I can just look at a chart and tell you if there's, I can see if there's any volume there or if it's just low sats, if it's against Bitcoin. But this is a 15-minute chart, for example. You'll see that little speck there where nothing happens. That means 15 minutes of either a couple of trades at that same level or just nothing really occurring. So it's very illiquid, which means that it's very pumpable, if that's the right term to use. But when there's such little, you see those massive spikes every now and again, and that's not one of them. But you see these huge spikes sometimes. People go, "Oh, it's market manipulation." Sometimes it could be, yeah. I think other times it's just somebody coming in with 20 grand trying to buy it, and they hit market order and just take the whole book out, and it goes poof, and they go, "Oh no!" They just cooked themselves. But this hasn't got too many of those wild ones, apart from obviously on listing day over here. Look, in my view, there's not enough data for me really to analyze too much further than that. The daily hasn't been around long enough for me to get that. There's no weekly I can really focus on. It's something that I think it's much better in your position, Ian, with your tokenomics and understanding the fundamentals of it. For a trader, from my point of view, it's not one that I'm really that dialed in or interested in. OX has been sideways. Sideways markets are no interest to me. And you can see, as Bill said, that big pump. This is a big reason why I'm not, when it comes to Bitcoin or Ether or something, sure, hodl your head off, go for it. But when it comes to alts and whatnot, as a trader, I also invest. I've got 2 separate portfolios. I take profits, and this is why. You know, how many times do we see in this market where we see a big pump and then it all, like, I won't say it always comes back, but more times than not, it comes back. So you want to be using these altcoins, as far as I'm concerned, to harvest. So you might know you want to hold X, Y, and Z longer term. Use the alts to get in, grab yourself some Bitcoin, some ETH, some Tether, whatever it may be, and then come back. It's almost like, you know, being a fish and feeding. You shoot out, you grab your food, you come back in. I like fishing, so hence the analogy on fishing. But there's not much going on right there right now. Weekly pulled back too far, daily very sideways, and yeah, probably best to leave it down to the fundamental guys on that one.
All right, thank you, Craig. Yes, I mean, so from my perspective, first of all, disclosure, I still own Helium. I'm still bullish on it, but this is more as a long-term investor. I'm not really trading Helium. And I think in terms of pure cryptocurrency projects out there that have fundamental value, Helium is one of those projects. They recently, I believe, just announced they surpassed 10,000 hotspots globally. They launched in Europe, and then they plan to launch it to Asia next year. So in terms of traction and building a real community, this to me is one of those projects out there that I'm bullish long-term. Now, where can I see this going? I've mentioned before, I think this could be a top 30 market cap project, because if you just look at other projects in the top 30 market cap, there's lots of garbage there. And for a project that has a real community from the ground up, that's backed by credible companies, credible VCs, Coinbase is looking to list it, Binance added it, and lots of other partnerships are in store. This to me is a project I have in my portfolio long-term. Now, would I trade it? Probably not. But I think if you're mining this, if you have a hotspot, HODL, right? Because as Bill mentioned, during the downturn in the last few months, it's really been acting as a stablecoin because it has no other pairs. Every single trading pair on every exchange is a tether pair, right? So in a way, it has no direct correlation with Bitcoin and Ethereum. And I think that's why it's really done pretty well during downturns, right? Because I know people on my team who are mining it, like Sam. Sam is basically like 26 years old. He began mining this 2 months ago and is making $2 to $3 grand a month just mining it. And same thing with Ugo on our team down in Dallas. He's making $2 or $3 grand a pop. And so many people are making money passively mining the hotspots. So I think when you add on that and the fact that it has just pure tether pairs, this is one of the more resilient altcoins when there's a big correction in the altcoin market. Now, am I saying this is going to 100x? Nothing is guaranteed as crypto, right? But I think when the market crashes 40 or 60%, as we saw with DeFi in August, at the end of August, this was one of those coins that did not do that, right? Because there's a big community of hodlers, and as a result, there aren't as many traders. And I think if you have to pick an altcoin that has long-term staying power, I would pick this. Okay, now let's go back to the poll here with the audience. Okay, just give me a second here. All right, so the audience has voted. The best project in their opinion is ZRX. All right, so tell us what you think. Is the audience correct? Is the audience wrong? Tell us down in the comments below.